it's Tina and I am back and we are playing in color today. So it is coming down to the end of summer, which I am not excited about. I know a lot of you guys enjoy fall and all that and the pumpkin spice and all this good stuff. I am not. I love summer. I am a summer baby through and through, and I am celebrating the end of summer with a bright, colorful look. I have been wearing tons of neutrals lately, and I felt like just pulling out color and having fun, and it's the perfect time for me to showcase this new colorful palette from Violet Voss. Now, if you know me, you know I love Violet Voss palettes. Not all their palettes, honestly, truly, like those huge palettes, no, I don't get into those, but their 12 pan eyeshadow palettes, which this is another one of them, I absolutely love. I have their Cool Vibes palette, I have their Matte Vibes palette, I have their Brights palette, their Neon palette, their Tie-Dye 4 palette. I love these 12 pan palettes. So when I saw this one being launched, I was like, all right, I have to get this. So I grabbed this at Sephora. It's available online at Sephora and also in select Sephora stores. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and pick this up. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the palette up close right now and some swatches before we get into the eyeshadow look. So this is the Care Bears eyeshadow palette, which is a collaboration palette. They also have a mini palette, which is a 6 pan palette available. I did not pick that one up because I saw it in store. It's definitely different from this palette. It's not a repeat color story. It's just a companion palette. I didn't quite fall in love with that color story. I felt like I already had the shades in my collection from them specifically, so I didn't feel the need to pick that one up, but this one definitely pulled me in. This one retails for $36, and like I said, there are 12 shades available, and it has a net weight of 1.34 ounce or 38.4 grams, which equates to 0.11 ounce of product or 3.2 grams per eyeshadow, and that's a ton of product. We're talking about double the size of a small eyeshadow on the market, which is 0.05 ounces. So you're getting a lot of product for your money here. This palette is made in the PRC, which is the People's Republic of China, and it has a intended usage life of 24 months. So it says here, a magical palette with 12 lively pops of color, each representing the unique personality of a Care Bear to feed your fun side. Dive into the world of Care Bears and create all the fun looks you can dream up with this 12 pan palette. The high pigment shades blend and layer flawlessly and come in a carefully selected range of finishes from ultra smooth mattes to an unforgettable duochrome. So the mattes and shimmers in this palette are equally distributed. So we have 6 mattes and 6 shimmers, starting with the shade Love a Lot Bear, which is a matte bright red. We have Chair Bear, which is a matte fuchsia. Best Friend Bear is a rose gold foil. Share Bear is a matte violet. Good Luck Bear is a green pearl. Bashful Heart Bear is a matte cyan green. Grumpy Bear is a matte cobalt. Surprise Bear is a metallic eggplant. True Heart Bear is a white pearl shifting pink. Funshine Bear is a yellow gold foil. Friend Bear is a metallic orange copper, and Tender Heart Bear is a matte warm brown. The ingredients are pretty basic and pretty standard for Violet Voss. We have talc, mica, and synthetic fluoroflogopite, as well as silica as the main ingredients. Synthetic fluoroflogopite is a synthetic form of glitters. So instead of using polyethylene terephthalate, which is PET, plastic glitter, they're using the synthetic fluoroflogopite to give you the same effect. And there's one shade, Surprise Bear, that does have that glitter effect to it, which I don't like, and you will see as I apply this in demonstration that we can do without the glitter in this shade. And everything else in the ingredient list looks pretty straightforward. We have a little bit of jojoba oil, which is going to help with the silkiness, and also dimethicone, which is silicone, which helps with the smoothness of the formulation. Now, the one thing I'll point out is that this is an eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette. So some of these more red tone shades like Love a Lot Bear and Chair Bear, as well as maybe even Surprise Bear and Share Bear, will have ingredients that aren't passed by the FDA for use around the eyes. So just be mindful of that. They can cause staining and irritation. So if you have adverse reactions to these kinds of pigments, just stay far away from this palette. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention about this palette is how similar it is to the Tie-Dye 4 palette, which I also have. Like I said, I collect the 12 pan eyeshadow palettes from Violet Voss because they make stunning color stories, and I love the bright colorful palettes from them. But they're very similar looking to me, and I will pop them up next to each other so you can see. They have a very similar layout, with colorful shades in the top 2 rows and then neutral shades at the bottom. And when you see them next to each other, you're probably like, wow, they do look very similar. They look almost identical as far as the color stories go, but they are definitely still different. So the bottom row is the one that stands out to me right away. So we have a matte white from the Tie Dye 4 palette, and then we have a shimmery white instead for the Care Bears palette. We also have a dark brown for each palette, with the one from the Care Bears palette being just slightly deeper and richer. So they're not identical, but they look very similar. The middle row is also very similar, with 2 greens from the Tie Dye palette and then 2 more aquamarine kind of teal shades for the Care Bears palette. We also have the blue and the purple, but the finishes are swapped in the palette. So the Tie Dye 4 palette has a shimmery blue and a matte purple, and the Care Bears palette has a matte blue and then a shimmery purple. And then in the top row, again, very, very similar, but in the Tie Dye 4, we have a neon shimmery pink, a matte coral, and then we have a bright orange and a yellow. That's different in the Care Bears palette because we have a matte kind of red coral and then a matte bold pink, and we have a shimmery pink and then a matte violet kind of muted periwinkle purple. So they're not identical, but they look very similar. And when I picked up the Care Bears palette, I was like, wait a minute, that looks so similar to the Tie Dye 4 palette, but they are not identical. There are no repeat shades, so you can rest assured that nothing is being repeated here if you already own a couple of the Violet Voss palettes. And I also went through like my other Violet Voss palettes, like the Neon palette. None of the shades are spot on identical, but they're very similar, and I feel like they still complement each other well. So now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and do the demonstration and apply the eyeshadows to my eyes, and once we're done, I will give you my final thoughts. Alright, so we're starting off with a clean, freshly washed face, and my eyebrows are already filled in, and I applied my eyeshadow primer as well. What I'm using is the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime eye primers, and I have 2 shades. I have shade 1 and shade 2, and I just mixed the 2 together to create this light creamy beige color, and I applied that all over my lids using a damp sponge just for an even application. And I'm making sure that I apply a nice even layer, and then I will go in with a brush to blend out the edges so there are no harsh lines, because the harsh lines can actually show up under your eyeshadow if you leave them there. So just make sure everything is smoothly blended and even. So obviously we're gonna go very colorful with this look, and I'm going to try to incorporate as many of the colors as possible. If this gets messy, just bear with me, we'll pull it together in the end. So let's start out with the shade Share Bear, and I'm starting off with very little color on my brush. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. So this is a Sonia G Detail Pro brush, and I'm just going to buff this lightly in my crease line, and I'll go back in and pick up color as I need it. But again, I'm starting off very lightly. I'm not trying to put down too much color, and this primer is a sticky primer, so it's going to hold on to color, and I want to minimize that. So I'm gonna keep building the color up until we get just a nice wash of that purple in the crease, mostly on the outer crease, using circular buffing motions just to create a wash of color. And I think that will do. Now I'm gonna grab the Love A Lot Bear, and I'm grabbing a smaller blending brush. This is the base shadow brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just gonna blend that right next to the purple in the crease very lightly. This is a floppier blending brush, so it's gonna give me just a wash of color. It's not gonna deposit too much, but it's giving me more control because I'm applying it on the inner crease line instead. I'm actually gonna go back into the Share Bear color, which is that purple, and use the same brush because that brush is actually working pretty well in the crease line. So we have the purple moving into this muted rosy red shade. And as you blend this red, it actually fades into this beautiful, soft, like red pink shade. It doesn't stand out as like a really strong red, which is really pretty. All right, now let's grab the bright pink, which is Share Bear. And I'm picking that up on a shader brush. This is the Worker 2 from Sonia G. And I'm going to apply that on the inner lid, but not the inner tear duct, just on the inner lid with that color. That is a vivid, ooh, that is so pretty. And it's picking up really, really well. That is an intense pink, ooh. And I'll clean off my brush as well and go around the edge of the color so we don't have any harshness. All right, next I'm gonna pick up Surprise Bear. Now this color is not my favorite because it has that glitter in it, but the glitter falls out so it doesn't really translate. So I'm just going to tap off my brush to get rid of as much of the glitter as I can. And then I'll go in next to the pink, so we're putting that on the rest of the lid, and you'll see that there's no glitter on my lid, like it completely falls away. So just tap off your brush to remove the excess, and it's just gonna give a slight sheen. It's not really a fully metallic shade, it's just a little bit of like a satin color, and it, ooh, that applies really well. Just tap off that glitter. I don't know why they bothered to put that glitter in, because it sucks so much. It's a chunky glitter. Doesn't show up, doesn't pick up, so like why bother, but whatever. And it's a lot of glitter in it too. It's like really chunky glitter. It's just packed in there. All right, now I'm gonna go back into Sheer Bear, that purple from before, and help blend out that darker shimmery purple in the crease. This whole thing is becoming a very pink look, which is not my intention. So we're gonna try to make sure that we differentiate some of these colors so it's not just pink like pink eye, you know what I'm saying? All right, now let's go into the shade Grumpy Bear. This is the matte blue, and I'm going to use a stiffer crease brush. This is the Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush to apply that to my outer V area and pack it on. Now this color is seeming to have a little bit of trouble packing on over that shimmery purple, but it's still showing up. It's just not as, you know what? It's not as deep as I expected it to be. That's the issue. It's not that it's not picking up, because it definitely is picking up. It's just not a rich, deep, dark, like navy blue. I'm just gonna keep building that up, and I'll clean up when I need to, but for right now, I'm just packing on that color. Ooh, yes, so now it doesn't look like just a completely pink look anymore. The blue really helps to blend everything together. Let's go back in with a little bit of the purple. So colorful looks for me are all about layering and building and blending, and you just have to go over the colors a couple of times to just make sure they're as pigmented as they can be and they're nice and blended, because you want the look to come together. So I'm going in with the pink now, which is Chair Bear, and brightening that color up again. And again, I'm just gonna go back and forth and build and blend the colors so we have all the shades playing their part. And I think they all blend together nicely. I just want to make sure you can see the purple, the pink, and the blue, and one doesn't overwhelm the others. Now, after all that application, I have tons of fallout, especially from that purple shade. So I am going to go ahead and clean up my skin. And it's always a good practice to apply your eyeshadow first when you're doing these kinds of bright, colorful looks. Do your eyeshadow first and then do your face, so you can remove any excess product that you need to without disrupting any foundation work that you already did. I'm gonna also create a nice crisp line on this outer V. Now on the inner tear duct, I want to use a shimmer. So I'm going to grab Best Friend Bear, which is a pinky shimmer. And I'm just gonna pop that on the inner tear duct area using a mini blending brush from Colored Rain. It's not too intense. It's just giving a little bit of interest to that inner tear duct. Maybe we can go in with the white shade as well, just to intensify that. Now on my deeper skin, a stark white inner tear duct is not exactly the most flattering. So let's grab True Heart Bear. Same brush, and I'm just going to pop that over the pink. Do you see how it just brightens it up just a little bit without making it stark white? So I'm just giving it a little bit of a punch to make it a little bit more intense. And now I need to go around the edge to clean that up so it's not too stark dark because there is some more fallout that I am not appreciating. We lost some of the red as well, so I'm just gonna pop a little bit more of that on the inner crease line. And when I go in with my highlight shade on the brow bone, I can tame some of this color, so don't get too worried about that. Speaking of a brow bone highlight, let's go in with this shade. This is just a vanilla shade from Sugarpill. It's heart-shaped cookie. And I'm gonna use that as my brow bone highlight, but also to help pull down some of the color on the brow so it's not so high up on the crease line. So you see, use it as kind of an eraser color. You see how this side is more subdued now than this? So that's what we use that brow bone highlight to do. Alright, face is done, so let's go ahead and finish up the eyes. If you want to know what I'm wearing on my skin right now, listen, this is so pretty. You're just gonna have to stay tuned. So let's grab the shade Bashful Heart Bear, which is the matte teal shade. Would you call it a teal or like an aquamarine shade? It's beautiful, so I'm just gonna apply that on the outer lower lash line. I'm using a Refer number 21 brush. This is similar to the MAC 242 brush. We're just building that color up and blending it out. And now let's go in with Good Luck Bear, which is the shimmery green. And I'm going to pop that on the inner lower lash line. And then for the very inner tear ducts, let's use Funshine Bear. This is a beautiful shimmery gold, and I'm applying it dry with a pointed pencil brush. This is from Bristles Beauty, and it's the E05 PS brush. And I'm just blending that into the green. Just a little. Ooh, that's pretty. All right, so I was sent this lash trio from Kaja. So this is 3 different mascaras that snap together, and that's pretty creative. I think it's cute. It may be a little bit gimmicky, but I thought it was cute. So there is a clear mascara that also doubles as a lash serum gel. There is a volumizing mascara and also a lengthening mascara. So it says to get amazing lashes, layer with clear followed by volumizing followed by lengthening. Or you can use either of them alone or mix and match to create your own kind of customized lashes. And I'll go ahead and follow their instructions a little bit, but also use each of the mascaras individually just to see how they apply. So they come in these beautiful little tubes. Again, they're magnetized and snap together. So we have the Clear Mascara, which can be used as a lash primer as well as a brow serum. And this has a simple nylon bristle brush with medium length bristles. And I'm going to use this as a brow serum as it recommends. So I'm just gonna sweep this through my brows to set them in place. Nothing too interesting so far. It's just a clear mascara. And I'll also go ahead and use it to prime my lashes. So I'm just gonna sweep it through my lashes. Again, it's a clear mascara. It's not one of those white primers that create this goop on your lashes. I don't know if we should allow this to dry a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna allow it to dry a little bit since it's a primer. It doesn't feel sticky in my brows, which is good. And it's not crunchy so far. Now we're gonna use the volumizing one, which is the second layer. And this one has a nice full hourglass shaped brush, which I love these types of brushes. And these are great for volumizing mascaras because they help to really fluff the lashes. So we're just gonna go through the lashes with this specific mascara and see what happens. It's gliding through pretty easily. I mean, the brush is nice and soft, and the product seems, it's a little bit more wet, which I prefer a drier mascara for volume, but it's a newer mascara, so maybe as it dries out, it will be a little bit better for volume. But I mean, it's adding a little bit of nice coating to my lashes. You guys tell me, because it's applying pretty nicely, but it's not giving me anything exciting, and it's layering up pretty well without clumping together my lashes. So far it's a decently volumizing mascara. It's performing pretty nicely. Next up we have the lengthening mascara, and this one is a plastic wand, and it has very short bristles, and it has a cone shape. This is not my preferred shape of mascara one, but I know it helps with lengthening the lashes, so it's interesting to include like all three of these products together. So if you want to layer them, which takes a lot more work, or you want to use one or the other, you can do that as well. I personally like to layer mascara, so this is not like an added step for me. I will build my mascara. I can definitely see the difference between the two sides, and I don't know if the formula is different or it's just the brushes. The lengthening side is clumping my lashes together like crazy. It's adding a little bit of length, yes, but it's not giving me any volume. Like, look at that, right? The volumizing side definitely is more volumized, but it's a very wet formula. This is the lengthening, this is the volumizing. Of course, I prefer the volumizing, but I don't think it's even volumizing that much. I am not loving this. All right, let me layer up the volumizing side with the lengthening to see if it does anything. Yeah, it did. It created a little bit more length. So, maybe they do work together nicely. I just smudged mascara on my lower lash line. I was not expecting a lot from layering it up, but I think that actually looks pretty decent layered up over the volumized side. Now let's see if I can make the lengthened side look better by layering up the volumizing mascara on this side. I definitely do not like the lengthening mascara on its own, or layered with the volumizing after. So I would definitely use the lengthening side as a follow-up layering mascara, because on its own or layered before, it just But I mean, the volumized side with the clear primer and then the lengthening applied is not too bad, but it's not blowing me away. This would not be my preferred way of applying mascara. I am not loving that right now. Let me remove the smudge. Removes pretty easily. No issue once it dries down. Okay. I mean, that's cute, but I'm not in love with that. I will use it, but I'm not in love with this. On the lower waterline, I'm just gonna apply a dark blue liner. This is from Makeup by Mario. I love his eyeliners. They're so fantastic. And then I'll just use my regular mascara on my lower lashes. Now I'm gonna go in with some lashes, and I picked these up during the Ultra 21 Days of Beauty. So these are Lily Lashes 3D Faux Mink Lashes in the style Croissant. These are stunning. They're very subtle lashes with tons of volume, but they're not too long where they look too extreme. They're actually a really beautiful style, so I'm just gonna pop those on. And then I'm gonna go in with another Kaja product. This is from their Wing Stamp set. So this is their liquid eyeliner, but there is also a wing stamp that I am not going to use because I do not like how that applies at all. But I really do like the eyeliner because it glides on really well. It's a matte black, so it's not shiny, and it's really easy to apply. So I like the liner. I just don't like the little gimmicky wing stamp at all. And I think the eyes turned out really, really well. Really beautiful, really colorful. Everything blended and applied nicely. So now that we have everything in place, we just have lips left. I'm going to go ahead and pop on something that suits this look a little bit better, and then we'll finish up with the lips. Ooh, yes, yes. All right, get into my little outfit. I am not naked, okay? It's a little, it's a little one-piece thing. It's a situation. I am loving it. It is Labor Day today, so I am getting my white in before I'm told that it's tacky to wear white after Labor Day, okay? So, for the lips, let's do something fun. I have two lip colors here from Pat McGrath. These are both Luxe Trans lipsticks. So I have the shade Psycho Candy, which is stunning, and then I have Pink Ultraness. And I'm wondering which one will go with this look. I am thinking Pink Ultraness, because you know I love my fuchsia shade, so let's go ahead and apply that. I realized I said Luxe Trans. That don't make no sense. This is Luxe Trans. Now this lip color is stunning. Full opacity, like one swipe and I'm getting pigmentation. It tugs a little bit. It doesn't feel completely matte, but it feels a little bit sticky. But look at that pigmentation in that color. It's a bright fuchsia shade, but it's not too neon. I am loving that. And I think we should go ahead and add a little gloss too. So this is also from Pat McGrath. This is the Pale Fire Nectar Lip Gloss. And it's a sheer base with tons and tons of light pink, gold, and fuchsia shimmer. And it's absolutely stunning on the lips. So I just popped that on the center. And I am absolutely loving this look. Everything came together really, really well. So overall, I think the Violet Voss eyeshadow palette is stunning. I really love the formulation of these 12 pan eyeshadows from Violet Voss. If you're into this color story, if you're into bold colors, I don't think you'll be disappointed by the performance of these eyeshadows. The only shade that I will say is troublesome is the purple shade here. That's the purple shade with the glitter Surprise Bear. I hated working with that shade because even though it's pretty, like it's really pretty after you apply it, having to tap my brush off each time just to get rid of the glitter was irritating and it was time consuming. But I really love how the base color itself applied. All the other shades performed really well. The only ones I didn't use in this specific look are Friend Bear and Temptation Bear, which are the bronze and brown shade. But those also have the same formulation that I'm used to from Violet Voss, so those perform pretty well. So if you like this color story, again, maybe you're into Care Bears and you want to get colorful, this is a fun palette. I always enjoy the palettes from Violet Voss, so I do think this is a go. As far as the other products that we tried out in this video from Kaja, the Wink Lash Trio is a little gimmicky, but I like the gimmick because it's 3 mascaras in one. It's nice to have all 3 together, and you can layer them however you feel to get the look that you're going for. But I don't like the performance of the products at all. Like, the brow gel is okay. It's just a clear mascara. You can't go wrong with a clear mascara. It's not that difficult to do. So the brow gel works. I'll get use out of that, okay? And the volumizing mascara is okay at best. It's just a regular schmegular mascara. Like, you can get a drugstore mascara that will do the same thing from Maybelline or from CoverGirl. So I'm not impressed by the volumizing side. And the lengthening one, oh my god, my lashes were clumping. It did not work well on its own. It worked decently with the volumizing mascara once I applied it. It did a little bit of a nice job. But overall, I don't think the trio is worth it. It's cute. It had potential, but it didn't quite work out. I'm gonna keep using it, of course, because I can get use out of it. It's not a complete wash, but I just don't think it's a good formulation, and I didn't like the performance of it. As far as the Wink stamp, now I didn't use the little Wink stamp because I don't have time for that, and I didn't like how it applied when I was testing it out. The actual formulation for the stamp side is kind of thin and runny, so it's not the most opaque, so I didn't like the stamp itself. But the eyeliner, this is a nice liquid eyeliner. I really like this. If you can get this on its own, I think this is a great liquid eyeliner. It dries matte and it glides on easily and it's stunning. I really do like this, and it has a felt tip applicator so it can give you a really crisp application. Really like this. Didn't like the stamp. So those are all the products that I tested out for you guys in this video. If you want to know what's on my face, because I think it's worth finding out, then stay tuned. If the video is already posted, I will link it down below, as well as here in this video. But other than that, you're gonna just have to stay tuned to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will leave a full list of all these products down below so you can check them out. If you click through any of my links that have an asterisk next to them, I do get a small sales commission, which is a great way to show your support for the channel. It doesn't change the sale price of any of these products. It just gives me a kickback, and you're shopping anyway, so it's a great way to show your support for this channel. Another way you can show your support is by buying me a coffee. It's something new that I am trying out. It's also an easy way to show your support because it buys me a coffee or a Coke depending on what I feel like drinking that day. So if you do buy me a coffee, thank you so much for your support. A few of you have already bought me a coffee. Thank you guys so much. I will also go ahead and leave links to my Instagram and Twitter, where you should be following me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye guys!